Good morning, and welcome to The Financial Optimist, the place where you can be optimistic about your personal finances. And today, I want to talk about a concept that I call forget politics and help yourself, a strategy to prosper no matter what system you live under. So here's a phrase I want you to remember. I call it prosperity is always a possibility. One observation that I've made is that no matter what country you look at around the world, every single country has wealthy people living inside of it. No matter the political system, no matter the economic system, somebody somewhere found a way to become successful in every single society. Now granted, some countries do make it easier, other countries make it harder. But one thing to keep in mind is that there will always be the poor and there will always be the rich. So you have to ask yourself, which one do you want to be? And then make a plan to become that kind of person. If your plan is to become the poor, then load yourself up with debt, credit card debt, car loans, student loans, mortgages, every kind of debt you can possibly imagine. And then you have so many monthly payments, you'll never be able to save any money, you'll never be able to get ahead. And that's the plan to become poor as fast as you can. If you want to become rich, you're going to need a very different plan. You're going to need to pay off your debts. You're going to need to work hard, save a lot of money, and create a plan to prosper and thrive. So being rich does require a lot more work up front, a lot more planning up front, but once you become successful, then you can afford to retire early. But the poor don't have the option to retire. They have to work until their elderly years. So if you're planning to become poor, yes, it is a little less work up front because you can borrow your way into prosperity for a while. But then eventually, when you have to pay it all back later in life, you can never retire. Only people who are reasonably wealthy or well off can afford to retire. When it comes to various types of governments we see around the world, throughout history, we've seen monarchies, democracies, republics, communism, feudalism, imperialism, and in all of these government types, there have been wealthy and successful people who have made it. So if people have been able to make it in those types of governments, in those types of systems, how can I learn to prosper in the system I find myself in? I live in the United States. You may be watching from another country, but whatever system you find yourself in, how can you find a plan to prosper where you're at? And here in the U.S., we have two political systems. We have the political right and the political left. And I say the party doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which party's in office. You can find a way to prosper no matter what. So if one party goes into office and taxes go down, I'll save some money. If the other party comes to office and taxes go up, I'll just find a different loophole and lower my taxes anyways. There's always a strategy to prosper no matter who's in office. And I say, ignore politics, ignore the propaganda, and ignore popular beliefs. Politicians say anything to get votes, it doesn't mean anything. The propaganda will say whatever it takes to sway your opinion, and popular beliefs sometimes are true, sometimes are not. I say investigate everything. Because when you ask people, how do we fix our problems? They usually say some kind of a political answer. They say, people on the political left, for example, may say, vote for a politician who will increase the welfare programs. They have free housing, free food, free education, free healthcare, so on and so forth. They believe that is the path to prosperity. People of the political right, they believe the path to prosperity is lower taxes, less regulations, and you have to have a politician to make it all happen. And that's one thing I've noticed about the right and the left is that they have the same problem. They both believe the only way to fix their problems is by voting a politician into office, and then it's their responsibility to fix our problems. And whether you're on the right or the left, they both fall victim to the same mindset. And so I look at this and I wonder, but aren't these parties supposed to be the opposite of each other? Why is it they have the exact same form of logic used for problem solving? I find the political system is a lot like a New Year's resolution. People think if you want to have some new fitness goal, lose some weight, you have to wait until January, make it your New Year's resolution. If that doesn't work, wait till the next January. If that doesn't work, you wait till the next January. If that doesn't work, you just wait till the next January. Just like in our political cycle, if you don't like the current administration in power, just wait 4 years, vote for a new one. If they don't fix our problems, wait 4 more years, vote for a new one. And that seems to be how many Americans think problems are supposed to be fixed. I say, stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems, and start fixing your problems today. Because at the end of the day, even if a politician did fix our problems, they get to make the rules for how the problems got fixed. But if we fix our problems, we get to make the rules in our life for how the problems get dealt with. Because if you fix your problems, you have control over that. If someone else fixes your problems for you, you're giving them the control over your life. And lastly, don't complain, become. There's many people that complain about the rich, saying the rich have too much, the poor don't have enough. They spend their whole life complaining, but doing nothing about it. And the reality is that the wealthy will always have privilege. No matter what society you're in, no matter what economic system you're in, no matter what government you're in, the wealthy people within those societies will always have some degree of privilege and special treatment. So instead of complaining about the rich, become the rich. Like, my goal is to retire as a wealthy man one day. So why would I spend my youth complaining about how unfair it is the rich have too much when I want to become the rich? Like, don't complain about a problem, take advantage of the problem. If there's a problem in society that benefits someone else, find a way to become that someone else so it benefits you too. And then the last point here, stop talking and start doing. Once you've made a plan to success, you have to start doing it, because plans mean nothing until you take action. So if you've got some plan to pay off your debts, live within your means, save your money, and retire as a millionaire, then make it happen. If you have a plan to start a business and become very wealthy, make it happen. But whatever, at the end of the day, you always have to actually take action to fix your problems. Thank you for watching The Financial Optimist, and I'll see you again next time.